work globally as a speaker, retreat facilitator, medium, and mentor. My mission is to awaken and realign you back to your magnificence, your power, and infinite potential. As the founder of the Rise with Love philosophy, I'm honored to share wisdom that will create the expansion of joy, abundance, love, and freedom to flow into your life. If you're ready, I want to hear you say yes, because the most wonderful things will unfold for you when you embark on the journey to rise with love. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to a new episode. As you rise with love, one of the things I hope you feel is the unconditional love from the other side. I'm so excited to introduce you to my guest today, who I've had the pleasure of knowing for several years as a mentor and a friend. I truly admire her dedication and love for her craft. Her mission is to bring evidence of the existence of the spirit world and to recognize the power of our own human mind, as well as the power of our own energy and soul within the universe. Doesn't that just sound amazing? So I am so honored to introduce you to psychic medium Natalie Walker. A huge welcome, my friend.
Hello, it's lovely to be here with you. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. So I kind of want to tell people how I first met you. So I think it was 2014. I think it was 2014. You were one of the mentors at a training I came to in Australia with Tony Stockwell. And so that's where I met you. And I just remember being able to watch you demonstrate live and being in awe of how captivating you are, not just with how you bring spirit, but how you work with the audience. And I was like, she is so fun. I don't think I've ever seen anyone so fun, ever connecting with the other side. And I was like, I just love her. And then, I've had the privilege of also seeing you work and being part of our journeys at the Arthur Findlay College in England. And I'm just so in awe who you are as a person, your story, your mission. And I'm just so honored to get this time with you being on the other side of the world.
Thank you so much.
That's all right.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So I want to ask you, if you can share with us, what made you follow your calling to be a channel for the spirit world?
I remember believing from a very young age, thought of myself as a worker, as in representing them, if you like, or being an ambassador. As weird as it sounds, I remember being 16, leaving school and going into my first place of work. And because I was earning my own money, I started to go for readings. And that was why I went for readings, because I had an interest in what they were saying. But I didn't have anybody in the spirit world that was close to me. So I don't know why I was going. But at that moment in time, it was just very much a yearning to discover more. And I didn't quite know what it was. And then I remember, I'm an avid reader anyway. I love reading books of all sorts. And I just remember reading a lot of autobiographies of fellow mediums and really understanding different dreams I was having and different visions. And I have to stipulate as well, yes, I was having dreams, so when I was in my sleep state, but I would also have, if you like, visions or dreams in the awake. So when I was awake, it wasn't always I needed to go to bed and be asleep when my vision would be awoken, if you like, and I would start to see things within my mind that would play out. So I would say from the age of 16, very seriously, that's when I decided to follow my own development and my own pattern of wanting to discover more.
Wow.
Because I was earning my own money, so financially, like even to buy a book, that's what I mean, even to buy a book, even to discover or to, contribute when you go to a spiritual church, that's why it wasn't when I was 16. Because none of my family are mediums. I don't come from a line of mediums, or there's no one else in my family that would have understood what I was experiencing.
That's just so mind-blowing, because I think back to how I was as a 16-year-old, and I'm like, there was no way that I was semi-aware and at all into this
Mm.
kind of stuff. So, what a profound message that is for anyone who, from a young age, knows that they are supposed to work with the divine in some way. You truly are, when I say this, and I don't say it lightly, an inspiration. So, oh my gosh, what are most 16-year-olds doing, right? I think we don't want to
Oh,
know.
I was definitely a rebel at the same time as well. It was almost like two halves of me.
I'd love to know, what have been some of the challenges that you've had to overcome within yourself or about your work?
So some of the challenges I've had to overcome for myself is that well, I say whether it's part of my personality, I feel it is part of my personality. I'm a very harsh critic of myself, and my personality and my mind has always given me, I worry what other people think too much. It's good to be mindful and have personal responsibility of how other people are feeling. I will always hopefully incorporate that as part of my spirituality. But I am someone that worries sometimes or is too concerned with what other people think instead of knowing I'm okay to be myself. I'm a lot better now. In my 40s, I am a lot better and a lot more confident at that now. But that has crept into my work because you do listen to what other people say. And it might not always be about us personally, but you've only got to overhear someone sort of say, well, I'm still not convinced. And instead of me hearing, well, they're still not convinced whether there's life after death, I would take that personally. How have I worked? What have I done then? Oh my goodness, what more should I be bringing? So there's something where sometimes I've had to learn the hard way of not to take something so personally. And in some ways, our job shouldn't be to convince everybody to believe what we believe. So some people are going to have to naturally find it themselves if they do at all. So sometimes, in answer to your question, sometimes it's almost been me being my harshest critic and worrying too much what other people think of me that's crept into my work where I haven't relaxed in it. But now it's different, very much so. And sometimes within my work, I would say the challenge is knowing when you're okay to be out there working, because there isn't a big sign. We develop for years and years. We will never stop developing or evolving. That will never stop. So it's almost the acceptance of when you feel it's okay to have the responsibility to read for someone, to stand up in public. And there's got to be a part of you where you accept that your development is actually being out there. And if something isn't working, we should all know our mediumship inside out, like how we work as a medium. And if a reading isn't working, if that experience isn't happening, then be honest. Honesty is the best policy because it will always give you your credibility. So sometimes the challenges are accepting, okay, whatever is happening at this moment in time, it's not working. It's almost accepting and learning how you actually work, who you are as a medium, like the standard you should be having. Some of the challenges as well is being compared to others and just always allowing yourself to be an individual. Everyone has got individual, nobody should try to be cloned like their teacher. Nobody should have anybody that's trying to say, do it like this. To influence, yes, but to demand is wrong.
I think you bring about so many great points there, Natalie. I want to just go back to, people saying, oh, I'm still not convinced, for example. And, to put it out there to everybody, every single one of us experiences people who say things like that. I don't think
Yep.
it's a reflection of us as the medium, but you could give the most out of this world evidence and they might still think that way. They might still go, oh, I'm still not convinced that was my, whatever. And so do not ever be disheartened to anybody listening if you've had that experience, because it is not our job to necessarily prove. We channel, we pass it all on, right?
Right.
And also what I want to
Yeah.
say about, comparing ourselves to others, oh my gosh, it's like one of the things I go is, Oh, I wish I could, get names. I'm still working on this whole names thing. Names is not something that comes naturally to me. I'm like, I wish I could. And then I'm like, but that person can do names, and we all find things within our own selves that we're like, well, that person is so amazing at that. But what we also have to remember is we're all unique. I always say there will never be another you as there is right now in all of Earth's existence. So every one of us has something completely unique to bring from the other side and how we connect. And also back as well to, when do we do this? When do we open up? You're so right. There is no open hours. Oh, let's open up now, right? And
Yeah.
stepping out into the public can be something very daunting. And when I first stepped out into the public doing, shows, I had no idea what I was doing. This is before I did Tony's course that I met you at. And it was like, I had no idea what I was doing. And I was like, well, still going to do it anyway, because someone believed in me enough to do it. But it was probably the best thing that happened, because that experience made me really get connected with my mediumship. And I think that's what you were saying, is knowing your work inside and out.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, definitely. And I think you've raised a really good point where it's like normal life. Nobody else has got our footprints, and we make our own footprints in normal life. And that will tie in with your mediumship. It will tie in with your work. The two
Yeah.
go hand in hand. They're not two separate things. There will be an overlap in you as the medium and you, the person that you are in life, in anybody else's footsteps either. We're here with our own heartbeat and our own mind, body, and soul to represent ourselves. And it's true what you say as well. We each bring something very unique to the person receiving the message and to the spirit world.
Yeah. And I mean, in many of the trainings that you facilitated with me, or for me, I should say, and things like that, we could all be bringing through the exact same person, and every single one of us is going to get something different. So we might get a lot of things that are similar, but we're all going to do it a different way. We're all going to give a different message. So I feel, being open to that person's genuineness of wanting to help, which actually leads me to my next question, which is, what would you say is the biggest myth about psychic mediums?
Okay, there's a couple. The biggest myth is that people feel we're a switch. So we switch on, we switch off as if they're just there. And don't get me wrong, you don't have to go through a big ritual, through a big routine in order to link to the spirit world. But people just think you switch on, you switch off, or, it's instantaneous to just, well, give me something. And it's as if that's it. We could just pluck something and we're there with them. And another myth is that they feel we have a conversation with the spirit world like I'm having with you now. The biggest myth is that a lot of people don't understand the sensitivity. And when I talk sensitivity, I don't mean sensitivity of a personal feeling, the sensitive we are, what we sense. They don't understand that it's not, you haven't got the direct communication that you did with people when they was alive, just as we're talking now. I call it a filter system, but that's my own terminology. Every psychic medium will have a filter system, will have sensations and senses that evidence from the spirit world almost has to go through before we speak about it. It's not someone saying, hello, my name is John, I died at this age. And I think that is the biggest myth.
If
There is
only it
another
was
one.
that way, right?
I know. It
Oh
would
my
make
gosh,
things a lot easier.
it would make things a
And
lot easier.
there is another one. If on the third one, it's more to do with the psychic. I think the other myth is that people feel we can tell them what to do, and that's going to be it. We've sorted their life out. That's more to do with psychic evidence. But people just think, tell me what to do, and then everything's going to be fine. There's a role of self-control, making decisions for ourselves still. The spirit world aren't going to come in and say, do this, this, and this, and your life's going to be fine. It's like we've still got responsibility of our own decisions. So I would say that's another myth as well.
Yeah, I think we could probably go on and on and on as to what the myths are for
Yeah.
psychic mediums, because I think another one is, I don't know about you, but people think we know it all. Like, we know everything. It's like,
Yeah.
no, we don't. We don't know everything. We're not privileged to all that information. I love that what you say as well. And I think that's so valid, and maybe something that we don't necessarily talk about enough as mediums is it is really not as straightforward as we potentially make it look. And so much training goes into understanding, I believe it's like your own language. It's like teaching someone a foreign language that no one else can speak, really. And so when you talk about the filter system, you might get the name John, but you might see a man in a mechanic outfit, and then you might feel something in your heart. And then you have to piece all of that together and work out that that's the father. He worked, in a car yard and had a heart attack. Like, you've got to work that all out. Would you understand that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. You have to piece together to tell someone's story, but we don't get that story direct.
Yeah. So we make it look easy, but really, I guess, like every craft out there in the world, I mean, I look at some hairdressers and go, oh my goodness, they make it look so easy. But then I watch the YouTube tutorial and I still can't curl my hair, So everyone has their own beautiful gift. I would love for you to share with us, because I know you're such a strong advocate for the spirit world. How can they assist us to live our best lives?
How can the spirit world assist us to live our best life?
Yeah, how can we call upon the spirit world to help us live our best life?
Okay. I feel in order to live our best life and align it with spirit world being there for us, there's something where we need to give ourselves the opportunity, whether you're developing, whether you're out there working as a medium, we need to give ourselves the opportunity to sit for the spirit world, to let them be around us within our daily life, but without asking anything of them. So it's almost as if allowing them to be close to us outside of our work. So, for instance, I know there's a lot of people that have busy lives. There's always something to do, like outside of our work. There's always something to do. We've got families, we've got responsibilities, and for some people, they may have another job. But nevertheless, at some point, even if it's during the week, not once a day, but at some point, I feel the way we can become better people and the way we can become more aware of personal responsibility is just to sit and feel our own soul. So it is not about what's going on in our head, what the logical tells us, is to truly sit and just have some time out, whether you've got music on, whether you sit in the quiet, and just to almost send our thoughts to the spirit world and say, I'm sat here for you. There doesn't have to be any vision. You don't necessarily want to receive information, but just to sit quietly and say to the spirit world, I'm sat here for you, and just be around me. They'll replenish your energy as you, the worker, and just give yourself that time to be close to them, but without asking anything of them. And what I feel happens, although we might feel not a lot happens at the time of sitting, what I feel happens is we become more in touch with our own soul. And that's on a lot deeper level than the mind just saying, this is what you do on a Monday, and this is how you're going to live, and this is who you've got to take care of. Where you really start to feel your purpose and who you are as a person. And that is when you're almost peeling back the layers of who you truly are. And I do believe then it does make you a better person.
I absolutely love that, Natalie. And even, sitting and breathing. People sometimes underestimate the power of just breathing and being present within
Yeah.
our own, just in our own energy. And when we're able to connect with our own energy, then we're able to become aware of other things in our energy as well. And I often get people say to me, my loved ones are never there. And it's like, well, they are there, but sometimes we've got to stop being in the busyness of our lives and take that time out. So that's such a good tip, not only for mediums, but also for everybody out there to start doing and just sit. Because we kind of go, okay, universe, give me a sign. Or if I'm supposed to do this, this will show up.
Yeah.
Or, like we're always doing that, but we're also, like you say, sometimes we don't just sit and be present for this incredible force or the divine that is assisting us. So, I love that tip. I love it so much. I'd love for you to share with us what you think is the most rewarding part of working with spirit.
The most rewarding part is bringing some sort of comfort to the people I meet. And also the teaching side of it, the most rewarding part is seeing students or seeing people grasp the fact that they are ambassadors for the spirit world and it's actually happening for them. like their self-belief just comes into place and unfolds. So there's two sides to it. The people I meet that are the recipient, just to bring them, some people you may bring closure, some people you bring that closeness again, and that's priceless. You cannot put a price on that. For someone to have their conversation and to feel and sense the presence of their own loved one because of what we're saying and how we're coming across as we work with the spirit world, and teaching to see students and people realize, I've got this, I'm actually doing it. It's no longer just about believing their own people are around them. They're actually an ambassador for the spirit world. So I would say that's my biggest reward, is those two.
I'm like a blubbering mess. I'm like, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm actually crying. I don't know why, but I think I totally energetically, every part of my body agrees with what those rewards are, both as
Yeah.
I've been, on all sides of the fence with that, having received readings, having been a student, to giving readings, to being the tutor as well. And it's like, I don't actually know if there's anything more rewarding in the world than working for spirit. Anyway, for me, apart from my children,
Yes.
all that kind of jazz, right? But it's like when you were saying that, I just wanted to cry, and my soul was like, yes, that's why we do what we do, right? So excuse
Yeah.
me for being such a blubbering mess, but I really felt the
That's
conviction,
okay. That's okay.
and the genuineness and the heart of when you were talking about that. And oh my gosh, we need more and more people like you in the world. Your motto, I love this, is to be brave, be fearless, and be in touch with your soul. So why is this important?
I feel it's important because you need to be brave and you need to be fearless, because otherwise, as a person in life, I guess, as well as a psychic medium, you will hold yourself back. And you will feel, I'm not saying it's a bad feeling, but you will always be searching, because there'll be a part of you that will be unfulfilled, and sometimes will be, what else do I need, what else? And again, it may be an emotional feeling, not necessarily physical, what else you need. And sometimes what else you need is to be fearless and brave, because you are holding yourself back, because you feel as if you shouldn't be top of your own list. It's good to be humble, but yes, you should. So to be brave and to be fearless is a good thing, because then there's part of you that will just break down so many of your own barriers and be who you're truly meant to be within your own life.
And
That's how I feel.
Natalie, does anything ever happen in comfort?
Sorry, say that again.
I was
Sorry.
going to say, that's all right. I was going to say, does anything ever happen when we're in the comfort, right? We always have to step outside our comfort zone, which is what I feel you mean by being brave and
Absolutely.
being fearless.
Absolutely. If I use an example for myself, I've never ever, before I was a medium, I've never ever done any sort of form of public speaking. I've never had a job, or I've never had a hobby, if you like, that put me in front of an audience. So there is part of me that has literally physically shook when I was first in front of an audience, whether it was 10 people, 20 or 30 at that time, which is, say, maybe a smaller number to what I work with some of the time now. And I would fake it and not be able to stop myself, because my own thought pattern would be, who am I though? What makes me able to be out there representing them? And I think that's where my mindset, it does turn around to feeling your own soul, working with your own soul. Well, what does it take? What are the spirit we're waiting for someone to represent them on a stage, on a platform, one to one across a table, working with a recipient about their loved one that's passed away? What is so special about anybody? It's almost like there's a specialness within all of us, where we're all qualified to do it. There's not a gift, or there's not a standard that we've had to be born with in order to, well, you can do it, but the next person can't. No, we've all got that ability if we're brave and we're fearless.
I love that. And I always say, me being a medium is not a gift, but I feel like mediumship is the gift. That's the gift. Being able to have
Yes.
mediumship, connecting to the other side, that is what is truly amazing. But I agree with you. Every single one of us can do this, even if it's just for ourselves. You don't have to take it to presenting in front of, hundreds and thousands of
Yeah,
people.
absolutely.
And you know what, Natalie, I've done a fair few shows in my time now. And every time, just before I hop on the stage, I'm like, I can't do this. No one's going to come through. I'm going to stand up there and I'm going to look like an absolute dipstick because no one's going to be there. And you know what? And I know they're all lining up, ready to come, but there's that part of me that goes, like, who would like to do this? What if, Now, doing what we do, people are always so fascinated with the whole psychic medium thing. So I really want to know if you can share with us what's been the most like out of the blue or pretty out there request that someone has said to you, I need Spirit's assistance to help me with this.
Okay. I guess really, I'm asked a lot for the spirit world to help people find things. So, which sometimes will be my own intuition and my own guidance. But sometimes I have worked with the spirit world, and that spirit contact has sort of said, when I say find things, it's meaningful things, not just, where can I find my future husband, or where can I find, not necessarily material
Though
things.
that is something we get a lot.
Very much so. But it's more, actual possessions, personal possessions, and would they help find them, and etc., and things like that. And maybe it's also to do with their loved one that's gone to the spirit world. So I am asked a lot if the spirit world will help them find things for them. And so again, sometimes on an emotional level, will they help me to live my life? Well, they would. I call it guidance, but they're not going to live your life for you. So that's some of the things I'm asked. I suppose on the flip side, one of the things I'm asked from the spirit world a lot, which I don't want to say it's comical, because I feel some people have asked me quite seriously. I'm asked for the lottery numbers a lot. Well, if you know everything, can you ask them the 6 numbers? And I would always reply, I'm not telling you that I know everything. And if I was able to access the 6 numbers, I would have got them a long time ago. And I wouldn't have shared them.
I actually have a story about something like this, and it was a few students when we did, I can't remember what Tony's course is called in Australia. So what is it called? Does it have a special name?
I think they change the title every year, depending on the concept.
But you're one of the regular tutors over there with Tony Stockwell and Lynn Probert, and then they also have others that come along. And I remember it was at lunchtime. We were just having a conversation between students, and two people said, because we get this question a lot about the lotto numbers, and they'd said that they had been given the 6 numbers, but the first 3 was for 1 week and the other 3 were for the next week, and Spirit said, don't ever ask me for the winning lotto numbers ever again. So I really believe that when it comes to lotto and things like that, it's we can't use the spirit world for our own vanity per se, or our own benefit on that kind of level. Though I've seen people that are going to win lotto, but I don't necessarily know the amount or with the numbers. So it is something we get asked about a lot. Did you know about that story?
No, I didn't know, but I suppose it would be unfair for me to speak for all mediums or all intuitive people. But me personally, I agree with you. I don't feel I've ever been able to access anything for personal gain, what I would call extortionate personal gain.
That's right. That's what I agree with you. We can't use this for, for getting into
Yeah,
people's cell phones and all that kind of stuff. Though,
absolutely.
unless it's a loved one and they're wanting to let their person know so that can access
Yeah,
their phone. But
absolutely.
it is interesting, our life. I always say, Natalie, there's never a boring day in the office. Do you agree?
Yes, I would agree, because every day is different as well.
So you do a lot of things around self-love, and you believe that self-love is the most important, and you want to share with us, what is the highest form of this?
The highest form of self-love, and what I've discovered in all the years that I've worked, almost the reflection you see when you look in the mirror, that's not the only time, but as an example of one of them, it's not just your hair colour, the shape of your face, the shape of your body. It's to look and begin to feel your own soul, your own spirit, and appreciate and love who you are. because we can do all the development in the whole world. We can have as many tutors as we want. We can dedicate as many hours out of every week, month, or year to sit for the development of our psychic mediumship. But if we don't even love the person we are, the creation we are, then how on earth do we expect to ever feel in line or close to the spirit world? How can we expect to ever feel as if something is working so very well for us? Because we are part of the team. It doesn't just come from the spirit world. We are part of the team. So how can you expect the spirit world to give you love, to bring us comfort as the worker, if we don't even appreciate who we are and why we've been put here? That, to me, that is to do with self-love.
And I think that's probably the one thing, especially more women. I'm not saying men don't have, self-love, things that they go through, but women, it's like, it is a big hurdle, isn't it? Loving ourselves and seeing
Yeah.
ourselves more than just body, that we are actually spirit as well. And, our body shape and everything that we are doesn't, I think the media's probably played a huge part in that and kind of making us feel we can't love ourselves. Or so I think the work that you
Yeah.
do, and you work as a tutor, you work as a reader, you do so many things, and you empower so many people. Because I know I've seen you work, I've seen, I've sat in your classes, you empower so many people to see the good in them just as much as the spirits see the good in the person that they're, connecting for. So I just want to
Yeah.
commend you on that. You are such a beautiful tutor. Your style is so comforting, it's so empowering. You feel safe. You feel safe to love yourself when maybe you've never necessarily thought that you could love yourself. So I want you to just know that's how you make people feel.
Oh, thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're so welcome. Now, you also work with, a lot of deceased people working as a medium. So you have quite a good understanding of a soul's purpose. This is a biggie for people. They want to know what their purpose is. So what do you kind of see as being the soul's purpose from your point of view?
From my point of view, and maybe not everyone will discover it, sometimes people are on quite a vested search for it. Other people, well, they're here because they're part of a family and they live in their life how they want to. But I feel the soul's purpose on a deeper spiritual level, whether you're a psychic medium or not, I just feel it's about uncovering and discovering why you feel you individually are actually here. So obviously people may say generally it's to love to be loved, but I feel there's something where we'll almost strip back the layers and uncover the soul's purpose, as in, what was we meant to give, what was we meant to receive. That's food for thought. That's what I thought about it, what my soul's purpose is. My soul's purpose, sometimes I felt like I've got it. Oh, this is who I'm meant to be, or this is why I'm here. It's changed. Over the years, it's changed. Now, it might be not necessarily wrong the way I was thinking before. It's just as we evolve, or it could be a multitude of things, the soul's purpose.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's something to take into consideration is we evolve, and part of being on earth is to evolve. And so if we're always doing, thinking this is it, and then we grow and then we go, oh,
Yeah.
now this is it. And then we grow again and we're like, oh no, now this is it. So, and it's not that it wasn't it. That was it at the time until you evolved. So is that what you mean?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It may be a number of things. And as we evolve, and as when I talk of evolving, I mean, as we experience different life things, we go through our own grief, we go through our own elations with every birthday, with every year of age. So there's something where sometimes we will feel our life's purpose has changed a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, I so agree with you. Natalie, I would love for you to maybe share with people, who love this kind of thing, who love mediumship. What do you think that loved ones in spirit wish the living to know?
I really feel they want us to know that they're closer than what we sometimes think. And not in terms of measurement, but just that the two worlds are a lot closer than probably what we give credit for. obviously that life continues and that their world is closer to us. And I feel also that the spirit world really want us to know that whilst, to put it bluntly, whilst we're still here with a heartbeat, to live every day, to recognise and appreciate the living souls as much as the souls that are in the spirit world. I really feel that is a massive purpose and thought pattern of the spirit world, that they want us to live, to make memories.
Natalie, I would love for you to share what your hopes are in terms of mediumship for the future. Where do you see it heading? What do you kind of believe will mediumship have a greater purpose in our lives? Like, where do you sit with mediumship in the future?
Mediumship in the future, my hope is that everybody almost slows down a little bit within their development and takes their time to have a broader spectrum and a wider picture of what a psychic medium is bringing to the world and how it works for us. So almost to be in touch with their own soul, as well as their purpose of being an ambassador for the spirit world. I would hope as it goes forward that they just allow themselves maybe to unfold naturally, without having such an end goal, without having such a plan to let it unfold, rather than having such a strategic plan of what must come next, or timings, by 6 months I must be out there working. Forget it. Forget all the time plans, because we're just limiting ourselves. So more of a natural unfolding and letting it be a journey rather than a beginning, a middle and an end. That's my hopes for mediumship in the future, because I feel it will bring about a greater closeness for our world and the spirit world. It will make it closer, which in turn will bring greater evidence.
Oh, that is so nice. I would also, because you are an amazing tutor, if anyone gets the opportunity to work with you, whether that be virtually or in person. I mean, in person, you're so beautiful and your energy is amazing. But for those of us on the other side of the world, we have to work virtually with you. And so, what would you say to someone who, because, you were 16 and you kind of knew, you were like, this is what I'm doing, right? But to someone who's like, I think I want to do this. I don't know if I can do it. Like someone who's maybe on the fence, wanting to develop that side of themselves. What's like a word of wisdom that you could share with them that could maybe give them a little bit of boost to go for it?
I would say bluntly, try it, because you will not lose anything, you will only gain. So try it. Now, whether you may come out of it just for your own self-development, so you may never work as in do readings or platform or teach, but that doesn't mean you've denied yourself anything, because you'll be more in touch with your own soul. There is no way you won't discover anything. You will discover, and I guarantee you will discover more, because sometimes our perception is, well, I'll do this course or I'll do this 1-day workshop. You will get so much more out of it if you're truly present in that room with a good tutor than what we anticipate in the beginning. So you don't just have to develop because you want to be a worker. You can learn as much about yourself as you can, someone who's going to go on to teach or to work and be an ambassador for the spirit world. So I would say try it. Just go forward. Don't think about it too much. There's obviously a call in there somewhere, so try it.
Perfect words of advice. Thank you so much for that. Oh, Natalie, I've had the most amazing time speaking with you. You are such a genuine light worker, and I hope that many more people can follow the work that you do. So with that, I'm going to link it up anyway, but where can people find you, connect with you, do all the things that you do? Share that with us.
Okay, so I have my social media. I have my Facebook page, which is Natalie Eden Walker, psychic medium and teacher. I also have my website, nataliewalkermedium.com. My Facebook page and my website will always update with where I'm to be, where they can see me.
And you know what? To everyone, I say just go and follow Natalie, because You are, like, I will just say one more time, such an inspiration. You've had a massive part to play in my unfolding as a medium, whether it's just been a conversation at lunchtime or whether it's been in one of your classes. And you have just made me see my place as a medium, because I always kind of thought I'm the youngest. I've always been in everything that we do. I'm always the youngest there. And I'm like, oh, I just actually don't know if this world is for me. But you've always made me feel so accepted.
Yeah.
And like, I do have a place in this. So
Oh,
with anyone that is just like not sure if they belong and, working with the divine, you'll find so much love and compassion with Natalie. And I've just had the most amazing time connecting with you. Thank you so much for sharing your passion and your wisdom and just your dedication to this craft and the way that you shine a light for spirit, for humanity. It is such an honor to watch you work. Like I said, you're phenomenal live. Oh my gosh, you are so amazing. And I hope to be able to connect even more, in the future, and maybe even work together at some point. I think that would be a bit of a dream come true.
oh, that would be amazing. Thank you so much, and thank you for asking me.
You're welcome. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and spending this time with Natalie and myself. It's always such a joy to be a part of your journey. Keep rising with love and connecting with spirit to co-create your best life. Until next time, everybody, peace, love, and blessings. Melissa.